There have been reports around the office that you have been talking baby talk.
Why would people say that?
Well, I have it on good authority that you said the following. You read that back to me?
Andy have a boo-boo tummy.
Mm-hmm.
He calls turtles shell beavers.
No, that's what they should be called.
They're green. Beavers are brown.
Definitely, we've had this argument. We've agreed to not talk about it in front of us.
But you
It's Hard-Headed Sports with Spinny and Fetty Bus. Famous for their podcasts, you can now catch them right here on the Al Travis Show.
Love having him on with us. He's Fetty Bus from Hard Headed Sports. Fetty, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well, Al. How you doing?
I'm good. You know, I was a little upset with the NCAA tournament as far as it ended up with all number ones, correct?
Yeah,
Second
okay. Time ever.
Yeah, it didn't thrill me. But then I look at the NCAA men's tournament versus the women's. This is not a knock on the women, but the championship game with the women came down UConn over South Carolina, 82-59. No reason to watch that last half of that ball game, right? When we get these four very good teams in the men's side, Florida beats Auburn by 6. Duke loses to Houston by 3. We had very good contests, and I throw last night's game in as well with Florida end up beating Houston by 2 points. They were at least quite entertaining, every one of these ball games, correct?
Yeah, they were entertaining for sure. I would say the two Final Four games were better played games for sure by the four teams. Last night's game was just pretty sloppy. Not in regards to turnovers. Teams were right about average on the turnovers, but the field goal percentage was just terrible. Yeah. They just couldn't buy buckets.
They were, you could tell, especially in that first half, everyone was worried about screwing up. And when you do that, you don't play your game. Yeah. So, but they came out and, I don't know, I want to rip anybody on this. I don't know when the Gators were playing well, if Duke would have had anything for him. It's a what if. I wanted Duke to be there. I think Duke was better than Houston without the fold, if you will. But don't you think a Florida and Duke matchup would have been a better game? As far as Duke, I don't think would have folded with that pressure. I can't say that. They folded with Houston. I wanted Duke in there, my friend.
The thing is, I don't know who would have matched up with Cooper Flag on Florida.
That's what I'm saying.
It would have been a lot tougher matchup for Florida. Houston's obviously a lot smaller. They're just relentless with their energy. They just give it to you nonstop all game. That's why they were fun from that standpoint to watch, just the relentless energy and effort from them. So I commend them for that.
I don't even know what the halftime score was. I don't have it right in front of me, but it was like 29-24 or something like that. The problem is you're a basketball guy. I like defense. You like defense. That running around, I think it hurt the number of viewers that hung in there. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, people like scoring, and there wasn't a whole lot.
Not wrong.
But because you are a coach, you understand the defense and the amount of work it takes to keep a good team from scoring. In that way, it was quite entertaining, actually. But you've got to be a geek. You got to be a defensive geek to think that was worth watching.
Yeah, you got to be a true basketball fan, like not just there to watch the highlights and the points, but the execution on offense when the shots were actually falling and just the defense, like you pointed out, that kind of stuff was fun to watch last night for sure, but it was sloppy, I won't admit.
So just to bring up Flag, because again, I think this kid could write his ticket. I'm in the impression he started at Duke at 17. He was an early riser. So I think he's just 18 years old. If you're Flag's dad and you're sitting down with him and saying, son, I know you won a national championship. He, I presume, believes he lost it because he bricked that last shot. Do you tell him to play another year in college? Won't going to kill you. You're going to make plenty of money. Or do you send him to the NBA? And what I mean by that, NIL money now, this kid's going to be rich in college.
Yeah, I mean, he could consider it for sure. Duke also has 4 top 25 recruits coming in.
Wow.
So if he were to come back and, maybe another player or two comes back, like Proctor or Malchuch or however say his name, or Con Canupel, if any of those guys were to come back too with that recruiting class, they would definitely be the team to beat. But I'm I'm always under the boat that you should just, if you're that good of a player, you got to go to the league. I mean, NIL money is
Seriously.
great. He made about $5 million this year on NIL, which is great money, but the NBA money he's going to get that's generational wealth there. Plus, to be the chance to be the number one pick, I don't know if you can pass that up.
Well, what would make you think next year he still wouldn't be that guy? He could take Duke to the finals.
Oh,
he could be the
absolutely
guy,
would be that guy.
and he'd still be the number one pick next year. You look at going to Utah. You want to go to Utah?
I think that's I think it's the competitive nature of him, though, too. Like, I think he wants to be the number one pick. I think he wants to be at that next level. Obviously, he got a little taste of it this past summer when he got a scrimmage, the Olympic team.
Yeah.
And apparently, the word up from that scrimmage was that he competed very well against those best guys. So I feel like the competitive nature in him will just want to be at that next level now. But we will see. It's an interesting decision, that's for sure.
See, I think the money's there for him. He's going to get that money. I mean, unless, something busts out and he, busts an ankle and it can't be repaired. This kid's going to make it in the NBA. Will he be a superstar? I don't know, but he's fantastic. Let's move on if we can. Do you have any thoughts with the Major League Baseball and this torpedo bat? And should I be worried about this thing? Where does bat technology all of a sudden kick into play? We've had wooden bats since 1837, and now all of a sudden someone figured out, put a little more weight in the middle, and this thing's going to be better? Your thoughts on torpedoes?
I'm not too familiar with it, but I know it's led to a lot of home runs this year so far, from what I've heard. I mean, especially like the Yankees, I know.
Well, or is it the bat, or is it guys that hit home runs just switch to this? Let's just say they picked a blue bat next year because these are guys who hit home runs. Judge hits home runs. The Yankees hit home runs.
Yeah.
So is it the bat, or is it just that they're swinging because they're having so much fun? They're making some torpedo bat company really rich.
Yeah, honestly, I think a lot of people are putting too much emphasis on the bat. Like you said, these are just guys are just really good, and this is what they get paid to do is hit home runs, especially in Yankee Stadium. I know they're obviously not the only team hitting home runs, but that stadium is so small, and like you said, guys like Aaron Judge, that's just what he does. He's going to do it no matter what bat he's using.
He could use your bat from third grade Little League and hit home runs.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk your Minnesota Twins if we can. Baldelli gets booted yesterday. Let's see, 10 games, and there were 10 games in, and he's already been booted once by frustration. It just has to be frustration, just the way this team's playing. That means he could be booted, 16 times? Interesting. Just on offside, doing the math. 3-7, this Twins team, your thoughts? They're right on the bottom of the AL Central, the worst division in baseball. 10's a small sample. But come on, are you seeing anything that makes you think this team's got what it takes this year?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, our batting is not there at all to start the season. Buxton 189, Correa 111 to start the season. Like, you're not going to win. Ty France 200. Trevor Larnach 226. I don't know how you're ever going to win games if guys can't even bat 240. Like.
Yeah,
we're just
the team right now is the team right now is hitting under 200.
Yeah, like that's 199. That's so embarrassing. On base percentage 267. Every 10 at bats, we can't even get on base 3 times. That's just pathetic, honestly.
And then you got to look at we were told that it was the relief pitching. We have what could be the best relief pitchers in all baseball. Where are they? You watch out. Home runs are coming when you get to the second set of pitchers with Minnesota. It is crazy to watch this team right now in every aspect.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of what we're used to. Obviously, we thought our bullpen would be a lot better this year, and they have not been playing that way so far. I mean, pretty much Pablo Lopez, I feel like, he's been all right, and that's about it, pretty much. No one else has been that good yet, even in the starting rotation. So, a lot of improvement, needless to say, from the Twins.
So where do you start? Baldelli gets himself kicked out. Is that a motivational thing? He really was going to have that big a problem with a balk. He's just out there yelling and screaming to get somebody upset. Does that work, Coach? You coach kids. Can you really fire up team just because you get kicked off or some? I mean, these guys are in the game. They play 162 a year. They've had to see this move a dozen times.
Yeah, I would say it works more in specific situations, like more towards the end of the year, maybe. Or
Okay.
I just think about in basketball, there's definitely
Yeah.
times where it would work, but in baseball, like you said, with such a long season, like I don't know if that really means anything.
Well, other than maybe it happened so early in the season. Hey, coach,
Right.
it's only the 10th game. What are you doing? All right.
Yeah.
Minnesota Twins, we'll talk more about them as the season goes on. I want to talk Wolves, but I got to have time to go to the break first. We've got him. He is Fetty Bus, my buddy from Hard Headed Sports. We'll talk more with him right after this.
Dust from livestock buildings can be harmful to your animals and to you. Coughing animals can lead to costly vet visits and other serious health problems. Now there's an environmentally safe solution for your dust problems. It's called DustLock. DustLock can control the dust all summer long with just one application. Protect your animals and your health with DustLock. Learn more at dustlock.com.
All the special interests are represented in St. Paul. But who speaks for you? Center of the American Experiment does. Our policy fellows dig into the tough issues that matter to you and offer common sense solutions on education, taxes, crime, and energy. American Experiment is the trusted, nonpartisan voice of Minnesotans like you. We are working every day to make Minnesota a better, safer, more prosperous place. We are American Experiment. Go to americanexperiment.org to learn more.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
I've got him, Fetty Bus. He's the brains of the operation when it comes to hard-headed sports, especially with basketball, and I appreciate him being here. So let's talk a little NBA action here. Minnesota Timberwolves. This Western Conference is nuts. I said it all year long. You just can't give up games for the sake of giving them up. I would throw out to you, if the Timberwolves had beat the Pelicans 2 weeks ago, and I think it was the day before, an Indiana Pacer team that had 4 starters sitting. If we had just won those 2 ball games, I don't think we're a immensely different team. Still a little over 500 home, a little over 500 away. But this team would be sitting in 3rd place above the Los Angeles Lakers, who are on a dive right now. They're 5-5 in their last 10. That's the difference between being in 3rd place and now we're in 7th, battling for 8th, or, trying to get into that top 6. Bus, how important is every flipping ball game all year long?
It really is, yeah. Every game is important. It's just hard to, I think, preach that to NBA guys, which is obviously insane to say given the fact that they're getting paid like $1 million just to play a game. But
Yeah, it's
But
hard to take
this-
that. But on the other side, every team can probably find one or two games where it didn't go their way. But I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
for
I could
sure.
probably go through in 5 or 10 where Minnesota just gave up a quarter, gave up a half, just said we weren't here. It's a difference of winning and losing. If we got to do a play-in tournament, we could have trouble. And wouldn't you rather be in third in a home series? Ugh.
Oh yeah, I would say the season for the Wolves really shifted when the new year started.
Yeah.
Those November and December games, we were losing to crappy teams all the time. It was
Yep.
We were the Wolves of a couple of years ago, early this
Yep.
season, and then the new year came. We kind of flipped the switch and started playing good basketball. And if we would have just been playing like that all season, we would have for sure been in at least the 3 seed.
Let's
But I'll
bust a
tell you
couple
what.
down. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Good.
No, bust
Well,
it down. You'll
The
probably
Los Angeles Lakers make the big trade, right? They get the best player in basketball, one of the top best, and they shoot up. They get into third place, and now they're just hanging there. They're not necessarily doing anything impressive. 5 for 5 in their last 10 ball games. Is that over, that play? Are the Lakers over? Have people figured them out?
I don't know. Like, I agree that they've been struggling as of late, but then literally their most recent game, they just killed the Thunder by like 30,
Yeah.
and
That's a
they
good point.
played. Yeah, so I don't know. They at least
How
won that
about
game,
your
but
Denver Nuggets? I'm picking people ahead of us. The Denver Nuggets have lost 4 in a row. They seem out of sync going into the playoffs.
they seem out of sync. But that's kind of been how they've been playing all year. They just don't have any production outside of Jokic. I saw a stat that they have the highest. This is insane stat. You won't even believe this. The highest team offensive rating in NBA history when Jokic is on the floor, and they have the lowest offensive
kidding.
rating in team history when he's off the floor.
Yeah,
That
see,
swing is just ridiculous to me.
that's why you couldn't ball games. LA Clippers are flying, right? They've just won
They're
eight of
flying.
their last 10. They seem to be going the right. They'll overtake the Nuggets. The other one I talk about, the Golden State Warriors. You give them Jimmy buckets. I didn't think that was going to work. They were battling to get into the playoffs when they got buckets. They're now tied with the rest of us, and again could overtake the Nuggets and the rest. What are your thoughts on the Warriors right now?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel more confident about the Warriors for sure. Just the way Steph's been playing lately,
Yeah.
just the kind of look in his eye, in Draymond's eye, and
Yeah.
Jimmy's eye. These guys have gotten it done before, and I just think that 1-2 punch of Steph and Jimmy in the playoffs is going to be really hard
Yeah.
to stop. You're going to need
see-
long defenders. Now, thankfully, the Wolves do have that, but
Yeah.
still, I'm not trying to play Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler in a playoff series.
Yeah, I would not want that either. Let's talk your Minnesota Timberwolves, because 4 games ago, tied at 18 behind with 4 other teams. We play the Bucks tonight.
Yep.
I'm concerned about that. Obviously, they're the Bucks, and Giannis had a 35-17-20 game last week. We play Memphis after that. They're one we're tied with. And then you have 2 slough teams, Brooklyn and Utah. What do you think your numbers are for the 4 games remaining? 2-2? 3-1? What do you think?
I think we go at least 2-2. I'm going to be optimistic and say 3-1.
Okay, 'cause you go
No.
2-2, you're probably not moving up. So you're looking, you got to go 3-1 and hope somebody else falls back to you, right? That's what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yep, we're on a
That's-
nice little 5-game win streak here. I think we push it to 6 tonight. Dame's already ruled out.
Okay.
Giannis was a little banged up coming in, but he's listed as probable, so he's going to play. I don't know who they have to guard Ant. So as long as Ant
Gotcha.
has got a motivating
Goes up.
game going, is attacking the rim, looking to get to the rim
Yeah.
early in the game and before he starts shooting his threes. I think we take this one tonight. But yeah, like you said, I think we have to go at least 3-1 to move up in the standings.
Exactly, and especially one of them against the Memphis Grizzlies. They are literally tied with
Yeah,
us.
for
They
sure.
beat us. It's done. All right, my friend. I love having you on the program, and thank you for taking the time twice a week with us to talk. How does someone go about picking up Hard-Headed Sports, my friend?
YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
And it costs you what? You just subscribe. Doesn't cost you nothing, does it?
It's absolutely free. Yeah,
And that's good at twice the price, my friend. Appreciate you being here.
appreciate you, Al.
If it's your turn to host a game,